Millions of Ford owners are starting to notice something strange about the vehicles they're being sold, and more people are beginning to question whether things are actually getting better. With prices going up, reliability concerns continuing to pile up, and newer Ford vehicles becoming more complicated, many owners are starting to wonder if the brand they trusted is changing for the worse. But before we continue, make sure to like the video and subscribe. We're locked in on providing new content every day for everyone who tunes in, and we're just getting started. But with that being said, let's get back into the video.
Hey, take it from a Ford owner. Fords suck. All right, if you're thinking like Chevy or Ford, go Chevy. This F-150, it finds a new noise to make every day, I swear to God. Nothing's wrong with this truck. I just bought this truck. This truck is squeaky clean, and every day there's a new problem with it.
2023 F-150 FXT EcoBoost, two-wheel drive. This thing's got 23,000 miles on it, and the rear main seal is leaking already. What the Ford?
Are you kidding me? I don't want this. I'm trying to take the bag of garbage down the driveway.
This is my love letter to the Ford Motor Company, Jim Farley, CEO of it, and whoever in the company this video may concern. This is a 1999 Ford Taurus. It's got 70,000 miles on it, and I gave my 226,000 mile Chevy Silverado with the 5.3 to a kid who did not have his license but really wanted a truck and did not want this Taurus. It's been sitting 2 years, doesn't need a lot of maintenance because it was only one owner. Only thing it really needs is hubs, brakes, and a fluid flush. Now, ever since I was 6 years old, my dad and my entire family has collected the worst of Dodge, Chevy, GMC, Toyota. Best thing I think we ever had when I was growing up was a damn Mercury that my grandma bought brand new and sold at 60,000 miles. That was the only vehicle we owned that had any trade-in value at that time. I've held the flashlight from my father and watched him put endless parts into Dodge Neons, Dodge Rams, old Chevy Cavaliers, Trailblazers, you name it. I saw parts get thrown into that. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we not only got more miles out of those vehicles, but I learned a lesson every time I watched my dad fix these vehicles. Without that level of know-how that my family had, we wouldn't have survived. We would have had no jobs, no food, and we wouldn't have to put gas in anything that wasn't running. We went from calling it a skill to a survival instinct. And these days, it cannot be more prevalent that this skill is very much survival instinct. So for you to complain about the minimal revenue you get because people are not taking their vehicles into mechanics and they're not taking their vehicles into dealerships to get fixed is absolutely a complaint I just don't give two craps about. As a matter of fact, I say it was a complete atrocity that in 2011 and 2014 you released the worst line of cars that I think the world had ever seen, such as the Focus and Fusion. At 200,000 miles, it should just be a simple pull out the engine and stab a new one in. None of this computerized bullshit. But you did it because you thought that if it was complicated enough for us not to work on it, then we would just have to pay you hand over fist to fix these issues. Well, Jim, that's not how I operate. That's why I got a 1999. And to go to our politicians and say that you want to enact laws to make people not able to work on their vehicles, making it even against the law for people like me to work on our vehicles so we could get to our jobs, so we could put food on our table, is absolutely disgusting. So in response to that, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to replace the hub and brakes and probably put new rims on this thing, either in my driveway or in my friend's driveway. If that transmission craps out at 150,000 miles like y'all kind of designed it to do, I'm going to stab a new one in, either in my driveway or my friend's driveway. Whenever there's a water pump leak, radiator leak, thrown serpentine belt, busted alternator, airbox failure, MAF sensor goes out, whether I am in my driveway or on the side of the damn road, I will fix it then and there. And there is not a hot damn thing you can do about it to make me not. Refer to my first HOA video if you want to find out.
Ain't that weird? We gotta call them, turn the key on. Oh, my foot's on the brake. Huh. Them Ford guys. That's weird. Ain't... Knob or not, your trusty old, drive stick here still fucking broke. Typical. So regardless of if you have a knob or a wand, if the battery's dead, it's still not going to go into neutral. Welcome to new day technology. Whether it's a fucking Ford piece of shit or it's a knob with your wimpy selector switch. Me personally, I think the switch is cool. It's quick, easy, done. And you don't have worn out bushings and cables like all these Fords have.
Hey guys, are you in the market looking to buy a new Ford Bronco? Well, guess what? This is your sign to not buy one. Why? You may think, your window may be cracked open. Nope, it's sure not. It's being blown out by the heavy ass wind. I've been listening to this shit for the past 3 hours. And guess what? I got 2 more hours left to go. Look at that. Let me roll it down. Let's roll it back up. Nope. Doesn't fix. I got it. The doors come off. It needs a little flexibility, right? Come on, it's 2026. Ford, let's get your shit together. Let's figure something out, okay? Fuck.
Ford, this is a message for you. I bought my dream car. I was so excited for this Ford Bronco. It's a Sasquatch edition, perfect, obsessed, hard top. Love it, okay? Even spent extra for the mats to go into the car. Now, my problem is, look, I was even excited. See, I got a hat. This console holds no drinks. What's the point of having a console if it's not going to hold any drinks, okay? And it even has these clips here to hold them. It doesn't hold them. I go over the smallest bump, a drink falls every time. And I have a daughter, I have an 11-year-old daughter. So what, is she not supposed to drink anything in the back? I don't know. So I called Ford. They said, take it to a dealership and get it diagnosed to see if it's faulty. My bone now is coffee spilled everywhere. There were stains here. I cleaned it, but it went under here and now it stinks like horrible, disgusting milk. And I am irritated. They need to do something about this. I'm not happy. I spent a lot of money for my dream car and that shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. It's a horrible design. They need to fix it. And they also need to detail my car.
If you were thinking about buying a Bronco, here's why you shouldn't. Well, first things first, the amount of times that I've had water all over the place because my roof is leaking, it's a good enough reason to not want one. Because I paid $200 for them to check it out and they told me, oh, we didn't find a leak. Well, looks like there's water there to me. And then also, it leaks from up in the middle.
My foot is on the brake. Foot's now off the brake. I'm not stepping on it. This truck is fucking driving itself. Accelerating.
That's why you don't buy Ford, people. That's why you don't buy the Ford. You can't park there. That's a bad day for them. And I just got the Toyota, thank God. Oh my God.
A couple weeks ago, my Bronco Sport 2022 Big Bend burst into flames as I was backing into my driveway. I shifted my car into reverse, tried to back up, saw the smoke in my car, got out, and then this is what it looked like within a minute of me exiting the car. This car only being a 2022, I've had it since 2023. I got it brand new with like 7 miles on it, and I drove about 50,000 miles on it before this happened. As you can see, the car is totaled. What may cause this, you may ask? Well, I had the same question. This is the inside. Ford has an active recall on Bronco Sports from 2021 to 2024. This is in fact true. You can look it up, Google it, do whatever your investigators do. And this active recall was for a possibility of having a cracked fuel injector. When a fuel injector is cracked, the fuel leaks into the hot engine, which can cause a fire. Ta-da! Ford decided to come up with an interim fix that updates the software in your car to let you know when this cracked fuel injector is like happening, so you can avoid fires, right? Here it is. And we only got one letter about this recall, which was last year. And after this, we actually ended up getting that interim fix done at our dealer. So they installed the software and whatever, because they didn't have the part for the cracked fuel injector, right? They don't have it, and they still don't. So as you can see here, when the remedy is available, Ford Motor Company will send a letter to inform you to contact your dealer to schedule a repair. Ford has not issued instructions to stop driving your vehicle under this safety recall. So Ford's like, your car might blow up and it might spontaneously catch on fire, but you can drive it, it's safe. Don't worry. So this fire happened due to Ford's negligence. I took pride into my car. We took care of her. We did everything we possibly could around the clock. Oil changes, inspections, tire changes, everything you could possibly think of on time. And this is where she ended up. In a junkyard. I was in that car when it started smoking, which means the car was already on fire under the hood when I was in the driver's seat. I am lucky I got out. Ford Motor Company rather makes sales than care about the safety of their customers, as you can tell, because if they cared, they wouldn't have these trucks on the road still without having a permanent solution to this, right? If you own a Bronco Sport between the years 2020 and 2024, and you look up your VIN number on Ford's website, and this comes up as a recall, your car is a part of this situation, and your car also might spontaneously catch on fire. I called Ford to file a claim about this, to let them know that this happened, and they called me back the next day saying that it wasn't their problem. Because it's not Ford's problem that they have an active recall that can cause your vehicle to just catch on fire and potentially put you at danger and maybe death. Even though I am gratefully physically okay, watching your car go up in flames when there's nothing you can do about it is really scary. So please proceed with caution when dealing with Ford.
This is why Ford can't get anybody to work on their cars. Now last week the Ford CEO came out and said he had no technicians to fix all of his broken cars, and that's why it takes a minimum of 2 weeks to get your car looked at a Ford dealership. Now I already knew this was true because every time I call my local Ford dealer, they tell me they don't even have a transmission tech. And they gotta send every transmission job an hour out of town to the next nearest dealership that has a tech that can do that work. Now the Ford CEO states that there's over 6,000 bays in Ford dealerships without technicians, and they can't find anybody to fill those roles. And his attitude toward the whole situation is that people should be wanting to fill these roles and wanting to do these jobs, and he just couldn't understand why he can't fill them. Well, hold my beer, Jim, and let me tell you why. Now, your Ford vehicles used to be really nice, reliable vehicles that were simple to fix, but now they're all junk, made with Chinese parts, Chinese computers, and stuff that's not even reliable enough to make it over 100,000 miles. We all know the Ford Focus was a complete disaster, and you had to warranty at least half of them that you built. And these Escapes with the 6-speed transmission, they're failing more than ever. Let's face it, Jim, your vehicles are crap, and instead of designing them properly, you just put all the fixes on the back of your mechanics who you don't pay enough. Not only are the vehicles crap, but you gotta buy fancy scanners, special sockets and special kits that are expensive just to be able to work on them. Now these are the reasons the mechanic shortage is pretty much everywhere in all dealerships, but Ford is one of the worst about gouging their customers and not paying their techs enough. Now this is a big problem for Ford because Ford doesn't make much money on just selling their cars. They make most of their money on servicing the fleet of their cars that they sell. And without mechanics to service that fleet, they could just go belly up. Now I see this ending one of three ways. Either Ford will take their cars and start making them better, more reliable, and easier to fix. We know that's probably not going to happen, so their second option is they could pay the mechanics what they truly deserve, a nice fair wage, to fix their junk cars. And the third option is probably what Jim doesn't want to hear, because if they don't do anything, they could end up bankrupt. But after the way they've treated their employees, their mechanics, and more importantly, their consumers, that just may be what they deserve. So do the right thing, Jim, and pay up. And stay dirty and subscribe.
Ford has spent decades building a customer base that trusted the brand, but that relationship is starting to crack. More owners are looking at their vehicles differently, not because of one specific problem, but because they're starting to feel like the entire ownership experience isn't what it used to be. People are paying more for new vehicles, taking on larger payments, and expecting those vehicles to hold their value and last for years. Instead, some owners are finding themselves dealing with expensive repairs, disappointing durability, and vehicles that simply don't feel like the same Ford they grew up with. And once customers lose that trust, it's difficult to get it back. A person who has owned Fords their entire life might think twice about buying another one. They might start looking at Toyota, Honda, Chevrolet, Ram, or even an older used vehicle instead. That's the real danger for Ford. It's not just one bad model or one bad year. It's the possibility that longtime customers slowly stop coming back. And if enough people decide that Ford isn't worth the money anymore, the damage to the brand could be much bigger than any individual repair bill.